Hey, welcome back to Nature, and welcome back to CCTV episode 81.
It's like 30 something, right?
We're in the mid-30s, just like
33.
me. Nice.
Episode 33.
Feels good.
Of CCTV.
It's been a hot minute since we've been kicked out of a public space, so we're bringing it back to nature. Love birds and...
More like a nature prison, really.
Yeah. Zoos are a nature prison, and we're here in the abandoned zoo at Griffith Park. There's actually quite a bunch of people around us in the surrounding area.
I think there's people like right above us.
There's people above us, up near the old cages, and there's like a one-act play being put on and another bear pen up the way. But we're here, we're chilling. Three boys and a swan, and a whole bunch of Twitter questions from you, the fourth member of this episode of CCTV, where you're going to be asking your questions. You know, just like the Cat Cafe, just making it nice and easy today, and get some answers to you.
The people are the guests.
Is it the last time we did Q&A?
Yeah.
Kind of? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, when did we do a Q&A?
Cat Cafe.
Cat Cafe.
Okay.
There's a lot going on, so you're probably distracted by the cats to play with, but that was the theme of that episode to make it easy too. So.
Gotcha.
Great, dude. We were in World of Warcraft last week. I'm sure you wish you had been there in your favorite game of all time, but you know, we figure out how to do that again in some other game. Love to try it.
I think that was cool, but it seems sort of gimmicky, and I guess if you're...
Like if you did a podcast where you had to go somewhere new every week, like that kind of gimmicky?
Well, at least we're together and we can travel and look at places, right? Yeah. Versus like, I guess if we were online only podcast, then maybe that would be cool. Getting into a game every week and setting something up, but whatever. Next time, might do something maybe virtual reality related.
You just never know what you're gonna get on CCTV.
And neither do we.
Neither do our sponsors.
Are you leaking? Why would you leak that? Why would you say that?
Why would I say what?
Why would you? Never mind.
What? VR chat?
Yeah, well,
that's what they mentioned in the chat last week.
Yeah, we mentioned that last time.
We don't have the capabilities for that.
We don't.
Well, we do. We did Onward, which was 4-player VR. Why would that be any different?
I mean, we don't. Half of that equipment is like fucking gone. I barely was able to stitch together the current stuff using the old stuff.
Well,
not even say. I mean, you also have a whole VR set as well.
Yeah, and I've upgraded it. So I can bring it back in, and we could definitely use it. I just bought stuff for it. I had to buy a new stick because somebody had bent the shit out of the last one, like the joystick. Anyway, that's not. This isn't relevant. This is the Q&A.
I'm just saying, like, I didn't think we had the capabilities for that. So, but maybe we'll have it in the future.
Okay, so my point of in the future, I guess we don't have the capabilities for it at the moment, which is why in the future maybe we will. Okay.
Maybe. It's a lot of money.
Okay. Before we get to the questions, let me kick things off with one of this week's sponsors, because we got 3 sponsors this week. I've got to get them all in. This one's a new sponsor to CCTV, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with over 20,000 classes in design, photo, and more. Premium membership gives you unlimited access so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work you love. Skillshare believes in accessible learning, and the price reflects that. An annual subscription with unlimited access is less than $10 a month, making it one of the best deals you can find for online education. So Skillshare, you go on the site, and it's kind of like a site where it's like you go in, you create an account, and then you pick things you're interested in. So you're like, okay, listen, I want to better myself, so what if I could take some classes on After Effects? I'm interested in creative writing, productivity. Sometimes I feel like maybe I don't manage my time super well, and then maybe design, graphic design. So you enter your interests in the site, and then you can just choose from all these lists of online classes. And basically, as long as you're a member, I think it's under $10 a month for membership. You can just constantly like take a course that seems interesting. And there's a lot to it. It's not just like, oh, here's the After Effects course. Here's one where it's like, cool, here's how to do this specific type of like animation in After Effects. Cool, here's a course on productivity about like prioritizing like your projects and like how to like space that out better. Here's one on like creative writing, like, oh cool, there's a guest seminar where someone's really like locking in on like a key part of creative writing. So honestly, it's like a super dope resource, and if you're the kind of person who like wants to spend your free time like bettering yourself, maybe skills that you have but like haven't sharpened in a while or something totally new, like I found it really easy to get on there, pick stuff I was interested in, and immediately like I create a wish list of stuff that like sounded cool to me, and like I'm gonna try to make time to watch that stuff. So the first 500 people to sign up will receive a 2-month free trial. Go to skl.sh/CCTV CCTV to start your trial now. You can get your free trial, and then yeah, just put your interests in, start finding stuff. I mean, again, those are all my personal interests. Yours might vary, but you know, if you're watching the show, odds are good there's at least some overlap. So check it out. Thank you, Skillshare. Very cool. Great.
Awesome.
It's nice to have good sponsors. Now, I'm gonna just, you know, we're gonna just jump off the diving board into the pile of questions. You know, I'm gonna slow down, some are gonna go fast. Why does Jacob look like the guy from the new Jurassic World movie? Question I've seen a lot. I mean, there's a little bit there. I can see it, it's kind of funny. I don't know if that's, you want a real answer or not. Why is Lindsay so freaking great? She's hilarious. What does Brett smell like? There's a lot of like low-key, smaller questions. Why are you so great? Why are you so great, Lindsay? Right? Why are you so great?
You guys make me great.
What do I smell like?
Lush.
Lush.
You smell like
Lush
Lush?
store.
Like
Lush
a Lush store?
store.
Yeah.
I
You smell
disagree.
like a bath bomb?
James disagrees.
I know that smell. He does not smell like Lush.
Thank you.
How often do you fucking shop at Lush?
Why are you so aggressive? I'm gonna you right now. Why are you so aggressive?
Don't tweet that at me.
Are things easier running the channel from the warehouse than in all the other places you've been? And would you want to change spaces again for any reason?
Easier to run?
Easier to run.
I think
specific.
I think I definitely talked about this a good bit on the last episode, but I guess maybe that's something you can talk about.
Yeah, why don't you
or your
give us
What if
Sure.
I talked about it and you already talked about it? If I have a conflicting opinion, though, then it's gonna, you know,
It would make this interesting.
it would make this interesting,
It
wouldn't
would
it?
make an interesting podcast.
Yeah, fill us in.
I don't think it's any. I mean, I don't think it's any harder or easier, per se. I don't know what that means. Like, does it mean from like a
Is it easier now than it was before?
like
to
for
run
us to produce videos,
just in
or for
general?
like running the entirety
It
of
says
it?
running the channel.
Yeah, like running the channel is a bit. I don't know. I mean, there's some things that we've changed from the house. Like, we don't do the ginormous whiteboard and that kind of stuff. But we also have like an online app now that kind of does that stuff. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't really know which way they're trying to. Is it?
I think it's your own interpretation of it that you can just go like any way you want to answer that question.
I don't know. I usually when I look at the space, I already kind of like work within the confines of the space anyway. So it's not like I would ever approach it and be like, oh shit, I can't do this because of the location or something like that. Usually if I would come up with something, like an idea, it already has the location in mind. So it's like when we did specific stuff in the house, it was like, okay, giant thing of lube. I, had the backyard in mind already for that. So it's not like I hit a wall suddenly and it's like, oh shit, I don't know what to do here. I've never really had that happen in either location. So I don't,
So it's not easier or harder. Basically.
No, not really. I just think it's kind of the same for the most part. Like I said, there's no brick walls that I run into when it comes to anything.
I think we have a lot more free time now than we did at the house.
Yeah.
At the house, we would stay there till 9 sometimes.
Yeah.
And that definitely made things harder.
That wasn't too bad for me because I was like right around the corner, so like it didn't matter too much for me. But yeah, I could understand that. There was some really really late nights there. Some videos that literally took like all day. Or when we would have to like bulk up on a certain series or something like that. If it was like a Let's Play or something like that, it'd be like a lot of episodes at once, which we still do. It's just case by case, I guess. But yeah, I don't really.
You don't think it's any different? I think it's a lot easier.
I think there's certain. I mean, I've said like there's obviously trade-offs here and there. There's a park ranger down there. Don't know if they're gonna come up here and scold us.
Maybe they can join us.
Oh, they're turning up here.
Yeah. Well, that was fast.
We might get kicked out right now. I guess we'll see.
And we'll do one of those walking episodes we haven't done in a while.
I was just gonna say that filming out in public is harder out, you know, around here because of just the legality of it.
And also where you choose.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we chose a very prominent, we're sitting in a bear enclosure at the abandoned zoo in the middle of Griffith Park.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we walked down to Patra or something, you know, it's like whatever. So
They're here.
This is an experiment. This is a social experiment. You can see, you know, it's like, are you allowed to film?
Well, we're gonna find out in about a second when they turn the corner here. And
They don't care. They looked at me, they waved at me, and they just kept going.
they waved.
Oh, they're stopping though.
The social experiment continues. There's a bigger group slightly up and a few pins, and so I'm wondering if they're going to investigate them, come back. But I just gave them a friendly wave, and they nodded at me, and they kept driving.
See, it's like, well, you said, well, it's filming in public is just different in general. LA, I feel like, is more.
Yeah.
They understand people.
I don't
film in
feel
public,
like I don't feel like that's as much of a problem for you though, because you never liked doing that in the first place. You'd always get fucking cringed out anyway when it came to that stuff. So that was more so like me anyway, going into a fucking supermarket, you know, with Joe and filming dumb shit like inside and not really caring if we got kicked out. Like that's obviously going to be more strict out here, but like I'm probably in the minority when it comes to that. Whereas like you guys wouldn't do that
only
anyway.
when you're pointing the camera at like other people. Like when we go to like
that's every time
a store.
That's every time.
And you're like just
That's
walking and you just film people and they're just like caught off. That's
because you have to put up a wall around you that you don't get affected by literally anything. You just do what you need to do, and then there's no one there when it comes to my vision. If I'm in the supermarket and I'm filming, no one's there anymore.
But the thing is, okay,
it's empty.
This is, I'm sorry, we're like deviating very far off from this thing. But
that's why I'm saying I didn't know what the context was of the topic or whatever.
You hate the PAX cringe stuff. Like,
yes.
I have to also swallow the pill for that and tolerate it, but I can do those just because I know, oh, we're in a convention center and people are expecting this type of stuff anyway. But when we go out in public, you're more like all going into random unsuspecting people. They have no idea.
Why is that easier than PAX? At least PAX, I'm like, all right, they came here for a reason.
I don't know. Maybe I got some kind of weird like fucking complex when it comes to that. I don't know. Yeah, film definitely like I said to Lindsay, I'll just go up there and fucking film those people. I don't fucking care. And like that wouldn't be a problem even if Matt took the camera and fucking shoved in someone's face up there while I fucking went up there, like I would not care at all.
I couldn't do that.
Like I get it but at PAX
kind of cringe you out, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. At PAX like some of that stuff is like, I guess maybe it's dependent on like the audience, you know. There's a lot of gamers at PAX, and it's just like maybe it's because of the conversations that you have. The conversations that you have are very awkward, and they are cringy.
There's a higher chance of cringe inherently at PAX. Yeah, you just go in a supermarket and some dude's like, "What are you doing?"
Like I know that I'm being cringe, but at least it's not being like it's not both ends. You know, it's not like you're being cringy for the sake of the video, but like the conversation that's coming back to you is also cringy. So it's like double. But like for me, it's like I know I'm being cringy in public, but it's not like anybody's gonna look at me and then suddenly be cringy back. Like they're usually like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Yeah. You know, so it's kind of different.
You can handle the what the fuck is wrong with this guy.
Yeah, I can handle that they're all looking at me and they're like, what's wrong with him? Because I've been doing that since I was, you know, younger. I would go to midnight releases for video games and like be that guy, that fucking cringy, like I'm yelling outside. Like I would be at the front of the line. I remember we got like Halo 3, went to the midnight release, got the copy, I was at the front of the line, and then like it's again completely cringy, got my game, went back in the car with Joe, and we drove up and down past everybody that was still in line, yelled at them outside the window and was like, fuck you, we got our fucking, it was like really, it's bad, it was really bad, it was really bad.
Are you the scream at the like Avengers like opening night guy?
Absolutely.
Like when the movie ends?
It was in the video. I mean, that was in the old Hub video where I'd yell at fucking people at the movie theater.
I mean, like inside the movie theater. Are you the guy that screams inside?
No, I hate that. I won't scream in the movie theater. I won't scream like during a movie. That's fucked up.
We had a guy with an Infinity Gauntlet that was saying a lot of things during and in the movie.
I wouldn't do that. If it's a movie or something like that where you're supposed to be quiet, then no. I don't know. I just like the outside stuff is a little bit easier for me, I guess. I don't know.
Gotcha.
But like we can't do it as much now, so that's why it's kind of like more low. But
you just never know. I mean, again, that right now.
But
we're still doing a podcast here. And
I get it. But there's no other person right now that like is in that same mindset of you know, that I have when it comes to that stuff. Like Alex gets cringed out for it. I don't know if you ever, you know, do that kind of stuff. Like there's not like anybody who would jump on that ship with me and be like, yeah, let's just be cringy, but like out in the pub. But I mean, it also goes down to like the film laws and all that shit too.
PAX to me feels easier because real life, I'm like, someone was just trying to go about their day and didn't need like me ruining their life. Like if you go to PAX, I'm like, okay, you deserve it. You deserve it. You went to PAX, you deserved it. This is fine. This is what you expect. But like, I'm not the, like King Supers and there's some like lady just like trying to shop. I'm like, I'm sorry.
If I'm at King Supers and like I know that it's just us minding like our own business and we're filming, even then I'm like, okay, because we're doing our own thing. But if I'm like, I have to interject people into it, that's when it gets like that person
interfere with people.
That person might
lives.
be having like going through some shit, and the last thing they want is like some guys dressed as superheroes coming up to them and being like, "Hey, what are you doing? Where are you at your YouTube channel?" And they're just like, what? Or PAX is like, you're gonna see some weird shit.
Like when I dressed up as like the hooker and I went over after we got kicked out or whatever and was begging for money like out.
Yeah, outside that store, that lady looked like she was closing down. I saw like a series of emotions that she had. She went first was like, "Oh, someone's knocking, hello," to like, "Oh, that's funny," to like, "Wait, no, this is like a threatening situation."
And then she goes to call the cops. She's like, "I'm gonna call the cops."
She went to, I think she called the manager or something. Anyway, stuff like that. I can't.
I just do that without it phasing me, I guess. I don't know. But that's the difference between the two. To go back to the same question.
Do you, before we move on, do you want to address any of the community strike stuff? Because I think it's kind of interesting. I don't know if that's a topic worth getting into in this one, or should people know view-wise and stuff, like how the channel's performing? Because I think it's kind of interesting, but.
Well, Adpocalypse, that's obviously a thing, and that hit everybody, so I can't really complain or argue about that.
Smells like
I don't mean back then though, I mean like current.
I guess I'm just giving it context. So the channel, a lot of people on the Reddit, especially, I think this is more prominent to the Reddit, sort of like freakouts that happen.
No. It smelled like lotion. It smells like really strong lotion. Can you smell it?
Same. Where people sort of talked about how the channel has changed directions and had people leave and etc.
You're going like the longest.
Which way do you want me to go here?
I'm like, we got a community strike.
Okay, but
for eating Tide Pods.
Well, he's already starting now. You might as well just let him go with it.
Okay, I'm just wondering. He's like, we got a thing. We're doing a thing.
He's already started.
I'm just curious. I'm gonna. Okay, all right.
It's totally fine.
I didn't think you had to put as much effort into it as you're putting into it.
Fine.
But if you want
to,
we
got a community strike. I think we did a BTS on that already, where I showed it. It was for the Tide Pod episode. Yeah. We got it months after the episode aired. I think April 12th is when we got hit by it. And seemingly, just from like looking at our past several months, and this is just transparency, after the strike, our views started to literally like dip down. And I was wondering, like, is it just the stuff we're uploading? Is it people leaving? Whatever. I'm sure some of it has something to do with it, or maybe it's the content's gotten whatever. But it looks like after the strike, our impressions, which is bluntly put, just things that show up on people's feeds that have to do with us. So recommended videos, even subscription box videos, just whatever clicks people over to our channel, went down about 20%. And that was dramatically very sharp and right after the strike. So I think the strike is more than just, oh, we can't live stream. The strike is literally YouTube's way of saying, your content was deemed inappropriate and now we're gonna show you to less people. So that's kind of fucked with us a little bit. But that's also, I guess, the game. That's just YouTube in general, and kind of sucks. But
it's been rumored to be that way for a long time. But like some people have also said the same thing, that like once they get something like that, it like pulls it from search results, pulls it from like sub boxes on occasion, it pulls it from like that kind of stuff, like those search inquiries and stuff like that. Like you just won't show up. So that's why like the impressions would be down, because people aren't finding the fucking video, or at least new people aren't finding the video because, you know, they're not there because we're deemed a bad channel.
Right.
So we gotta work a little bit harder to get views on everything, even like no-brainer stuff like blindfolded airsoft or like a cooking video or stuff that like normally like as a one-off would do amongst like our best stuff. It's like you can definitely see the views on that and stuff like that. And like Amazon, like BTS, which used to always hit at a certain threshold, is lower too. So just so you know, our views aren't going down because we're losing popularity.
Our views are going down.
But they're going down because of the system.
Yeah, which I mean sucks because.
But it's not permanent.
But it's not permanent. It expires in a couple months, I think.
Expires in a couple months. I'm hoping we don't get hard stuck, and I'm hoping people can start seeing our stuff again after that.
Yeah.
But like as a creator, you look at views to be like, oh, people are watching this stuff, people are not. So when you put stuff up and YouTube's working against you, you're like, I'm not sure if people like this and they want more of this, or if they, views are down because they didn't, you know what I mean?
It was already bad too because of the, there was people that said like depending on the age of your channel was also a factor too. It's like you have an old channel, like we made ours in like 2008 or something like that. They're significantly at a loss compared to like brand new channels. And I've seen people that, might have millions of subs, they kind of dwindle down, but they make a second channel and their impressions and all that stuff, the click-throughs and everything are way up just because the channel is fresh and new. So that was one advantage that we had, was kind of like a newer channel. But yeah, if we were permanently stuck, that would kind of suck.
Yeah, I'm hoping we go back to like a good standing and everything clears, and because I like to look at the numbers and stuff like that anyway, but that was just interesting, I guess. There's
nothing you can do about it because like you can't really contest that video in particular. Like if you've seen that Amazon, it's like you on the toilet like pooping and you like memeing eating a type of. So it's like it's not, you can't be like we didn't do it, you misunderstood. It's like we just kind of had to eat that one. But there is something to be.
I guess I didn't have to eat.
Yeah, sure. It was like definitely a decision we made. And like as always, we stand by that or whatever. But it is a little frustrating sometimes when it's like obviously the community backlash to the Tide Pod meme was so much so that YouTube just went and hunted out every instance of that. Whereas like you have Coyote Peterson, like if it's a matter of self-harm, it's like, oh cool, I'm gonna sting myself and torture myself on camera because it's educational. It's like, all right, well, he definitely does more self-harm than you pretending to swallow the Tide Pod.
Well, at that point, it's like I can see Coyote Peterson being like, this is for education. Ow, this hurts. Yeah. I mean, to my argument, this is for education. A Tide Pod, I'm gonna fucking throw up because it's filled with chemicals.
Don't put that in your mouth.
It's also the stuff that people want to see from us. That's the stuff that like, obviously does the best, but it's the stuff that like we've kind of put ourselves in that spot from the very beginning. So it's like when YouTube or when any of that stuff is actively working against us in terms of those ideas, that kind of sucks because then it's like, what do we do? Do we just not do those types of ideas because that's the end result? We lose 3 months worth of like we get stifled for 3 months because we did that one video, or like what do you do?
It's like, is the joke worth it?
Yeah.
We have gotten away with a lot of fucked up shit.
Yeah, we have.
So I'm not even really complaining. It's just like it's weird when those weird instances where like the community pressure from like the outrage behind something can push you into that box where like.
But that could happen to any of them though. Like you said, this was a few months later. Like there's nothing stopping them from a few months from now.
They did announce it though,
and being like, oh hey, airsoft. No, like you fucking heard me. Like they could do the same thing to that.
Well, yeah, that's what happened to the gun channels recently. They pulled those down. The weed channels got hit too.
So they could come back and do that again.
And it's all a matter of perspective too. Like seeing us play around with the airsoft guns, me firing full auto airsoft at a box or something could be misconstrued. So it's like it's a matter of like perception, and then like if someone wants to get up in arms about it. So food for thought, interesting. Talk amongst yourselves. We'll keep moving.
Talk amongst yourselves.
You know what? Let me take a little breather here. Talk about another sponsor, guys. You know them. We all know them. MeUndies, ladies and gentlemen. You were wearing them yesterday. I don't know if you got a pair on today.
I do actually have a pair of MeUndies on today.
Maybe the same pair that MeUndies.
Well, they send them in the wrong sizes. They send them in the right size. And so he's gotten all of our samples. Every time they send them, only he gets them. So he's got a great collection. I'm glad.
An awesome collection of underwear in my wardrobe.
Listen, you can get incredible underwear just like Alex's sent to your door with MeUndies, meaning no more hunting around for the perfect pair at a crowded store, eventually settling for good enough. MeUndies are made with a sustainably sourced material from beechwood trees. Nature, baby. Their naturally soft fiber makes a fabric that won't sag down or ride up. Trust us, once you put on a pair, you'll get it. You get it.
I get it.
MeUndies is so sure you'll love your first pair that if you're not happy, they'll do whatever they can to get you into the right pair. And if they can't, keep them. They'll refund you. So it really is risk-free to try the best underwear ever. And if you're already a part of the MeUndies fam, tell your friends about it through their referral program. They'll get a discount and you'll get store credit. That's a win-win. What's your favorite pair of MeUndies that you own? There's so many designs.
I got those pink ones with the avocados on them. Those are pretty nifty.
Pretty styling?
Yeah.
That's summer right there, man. You wear those, you know, walking around in your underwear, I guess, by the pool.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever. But like, that's a fun summer vibe, man. MeUndies has a deal for our listeners. First-time purchasers get 20% off their first pair of MeUndies and free shipping. That's 20% off plus free shipping and the guarantee that you and your MeUndies will be very happy together. Get your butt over to MeUndies.com and treat yourself. To get 20% off your first pair, go to MeUndies.com/CCTV. It's so simple. MeUndies.com/CCTV. 20% off, free shipping, your first order. And if you're already a member, use those referral codes. Get some free underwear, man. Fill up the wardrobe. I like a nice, like, full underwear drawer. You know, it fit your mood. You're like, what do I want to wear today? Not like, oh, I got hot dog underwear left. That's it. I got one old pair of hot dog, funny underwear. Anyways, all right, back to the questions. We are just,
You know, I had one, I guess, thing. I talked about this with like Asher a little bit on a stream I did recently, but it kind of works with like the whole artist doing stuff and then how they are like behind the scenes sort of question. We had a conversation about if you liked an artist, but in the background they were doing sketchy stuff like a crime or they committed a felony, how would you or would you still support that artist?
You talking about like a musician?
Talking about a musician, even like a movie actor, just general artists.
Do you still like Kevin Spacey?
I'm asking you this question. I mean, if you want to turn it around to me, and
No,
get
I'm just saying. I
he's
want
done
a good
lot
example.
of great work. Do you
I
think
want a good example.
You think I don't watch Seven anymore because Kevin Spacey did some shit on his personal
It's just a
life?
movie though. Like he was really into House of Cards, and then shit hit the fan. So that's what I'm just saying.
I'm not. I didn't boycott myself from House of Cards because of it.
I don't. The thing with like boycotts, so I would probably not support his movies going forward. Like if
new
there was
stuff.
if there was a Kevin Spacey movie, I wouldn't be like, I'm gonna buy a ticket to see that. But since I own Netflix, everything, like I already pay for Netflix. It's not like, I don't know, would he get money from me watching the new season of House of Cards? I don't know. I guess it's all whatever. You're saying yeah, Lindsay's saying yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they removed him from the new season.
Yeah,
now.
they probably did.
So-
They removed him from everything.
Royalties from like if you watch the old seasons.
Right, so I wouldn't rewatch the old seasons, I guess. But I'd probably watch the new ones because I think he's not in it anymore.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
You
there
would
was,
not. You would not watch old seasons with Kevin Spacey. You and you're like you don't watch anything that has Kevin Spacey, even like old stuff he's done.
It would be hard to because it's harder with like a movie than it is with like.
Did you just squish a bug with my ad read?
Did you use this one already?
No.
Oh, I thought you used this one.
No.
I like how we're at the
It was a
zoo.
blood bug. It was a blood bug.
Yeah.
I think animals are supposed to live here.
It was a blood bug.
There's a blood bug.
I didn't want it near me.
A blood bug. Damn.
I was gonna say that just recently this kind of happened with Deadpool 2. I went and watched Deadpool 2 and like, you know, I thought it was funny and not as good as the first one, but it was, you know, still great. And I watched it just as I watched the first one, not really knowing that there was some ginormous scandal with TJ Miller that happened, like, you know, that he's off. Like they took him out. He's not in Deadpool anymore, and he's not going to be in X-Force because of the allegations against him. So it's weird because I saw that after the fact. You know, maybe that would have changed my opinion. Because, you know, I like his part, like, you know, the weasel dude, and like he has good quips back and forth with Ryan Reynolds and all that. But like I wanted to watch what's it called? It's HBO. He's in that.
Silicon Valley?
Yeah, I wanted to watch that for the longest time. And I know he's one of the main people in that.
They kicked
so it's
him
like,
off that show.
They kicked him off?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can watch again. It's not going to change anything. You not watching.
No, yeah. I
Silicon
mean,
Valley
I'm not.
affects nothing.
I don't think I wouldn't watch it just because, you know, he's in it. I feel like it changes my opinion
You're
on
going to punish
him.
the
you know?
hundreds of like Deadpool 2 created like 15,000 jobs over the course of like X months, and you're not gonna watch it because TJ Miller, one shit like person may or may not have done something.
I would have watched it. I would have watched it regardless.
It's so much bigger than those people. It's even like a Kevin Spacey movie, like that one where they like edited him out of the movie and did a thing. It's like, regardless of your feelings about Kevin Spacey, hundreds, maybe thousands of people worked on that, you know, people who had nothing to do with that, and then they get fucked by that, you know what I mean? Like the distributors who are like, we're not releasing this movie, like they're just gonna take $1 million hits. It's fucked up for a lot of people, and I'm not sure that you not watching it really like delivers justice where it needs to be, so much as just like a lot of other people get fucked up because of one person's shitty decision making. So my answer is that whatever, I feel like I separate the art and what's going on in people's private lives. Maybe I'm not jumping to watch the Cosby Show these days or something, but you know what I mean?
I'd say the super, I guess, devil's advocate of that, or at least the argument that I saw, because I agree with you on that, is that the artist's art is not, it's a manifestation of themselves. So when you watch him, it's like, you can't separate his personal life from what he did as an artwork, basically, is the argument. Which I don't really agree with that. I can see when people say that, because it's like, if I go out and make a movie and it's whatever, it's like, oh, I made the movie, and if I'm a shitty person.
We don't get an inside look at their personal lives, so we can't form an opinion on that. We only see what we get from whatever it is.
It also assumes there's a direct correlation. Like if I stomp puppies to death in my spare time, you're assuming that like if I make a movie, that movie is secretly about my love of stomping puppies, when it might not be. Maybe it's a documentary about the food industry.
What if
there's not always a direct correlation.
Sure, maybe movies are a little bit harder, but music's something people listen to all the time, right?
Sure.
And if you have a favorite band and come to find out that the lead singer, you know, murdered a school bus full of children, would you? Sure, I'm gonna go that far just because. You know, you don't want to fuck the record label, you don't want to fuck the hundreds of people that worked and produced the album and the other members of the band, but would you still play that song like in the car by yourself? Would you play it with when other people get in the car with you? Would you play it at home? Or would you just be like, I'm not listening to that band anymore, this is too fucked up for me?
I mean, it's a personal matter. I think if it still had particular personal value for me, I would be business as usual. If it, depending on how it affected me, maybe I wouldn't be like, cool, that guy should still be in this band and I should go see them at a concert or whatever. But like a song they recorded 10 years, like Linkin Park or something, you know, I was like, oh, this reminds me of my high school days. Like, that's fucked up, and now I have a new like level of listening to that where I might be like, wow, this person obviously had a lot of fucking issues, and you know, I think it makes it more complex sometimes, but I don't think it's an instant like, let me use the Deadpool time travel device to go back in time and never listen to this artist to prove something.
Right.
But I don't know, I mean, it's like, I think it's like a personal choice, right? Like I can't really speak for everybody, and people shouldn't speak for other people and be like, no, you will never watch House of Cards again if you are on the right side of history. It's like, okay.
I never watched it in the first place, so I don't give a fuck.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah. It's pretty good.
A lot of good writers and other actors on that series.
There's so much other stuff to watch like that. I don't know when I'd ever get to that.
I guess that was really all I wanted to.
You see that you're saying you think you and I share a point of view on that?
Yeah, I guess I didn't really consider the fact that there's so many other people involved in it that it is like you'd be not only maybe serving justice by not giving Kevin Spacey a royalty, but you'd also be screwing over everyone else that has worked and produced like any of the stuff that he's ever been in.
I get not wanting, like, it's not like you're saying like that person should stay on the show and keep getting paychecks, but like you can still be like, it's, you know, it's like a collaborative effort.
I think like Asher brought up Louis C.K. and it's like, do you watch his stand-up specials because they're pretty funny, or do you watch them now and you're like, oh, that joke is kind of fucked up given, you know, the allegations? It's not as funny of a joke because it sounds absurd, but like he actually did some of this stuff. So
it does sound like it is different depending on the media, because I mean that specific case would be like the joke, right? Like,
but then you'd understand the jokes and like you understand that he's a fucked up human being.
Yeah.
But like you can still laugh at fucked up things because that's the nature of like how humor works, right? Like it delivers you out of like dark shit. Like if you laugh at like a really fucked up joke, you know what I mean? Like there are people who like can laugh at cancer jokes who have like survived cancer or like have lost people to cancer, you know what I mean? Like it delivers its own thing. So it's like you can destruct it in so many ways. I just don't think it's always like, if you do this, then you're a bad person because you still think Louis C.K. is funny. It's like, I understand what he did is very bad and he's a very damaged human being, but you know what I mean? Humor is so multifaceted and layered that it's hard to just.
It's how you digest it.
Yeah, it's how you digest it, and I get it. So, good question, dude. One question is like, do you prefer the warm weather in LA or the cold of Colorado? We've been under this fucking gray fog blanket all week.
Yeah, this has been rough, dude. This is rough for us.
I love rain.
I lived here for, I mean, we only lived here for like 2 years, so I can't imagine. It's more like, the only thing I can say is that people here, the longer they live here, the more they get adjusted to it, and so everything else seems awful. Like going to the East Coast is awful. Below 65 is like the worst thing ever. Overcast. Oh, 3 days of overcast. I'm depressed.
Yeah, we all have seasonal affective disorder all of a sudden. Yeah, we're kind of spoiled. And I used to be a lot better. I mean, I like cold weather, but I feel like my tolerance for just like little pussy baby shit was a lot higher when I lived in Colorado. I'd wear like shorts and snow, and now
for
I'm
sure.
Like,
on the East Coast, it would be like fucking like 30 degrees. I'd be at my bus stop like, well, just bus getting here. It's starting to get cold.
Yeah,
you know. But I get what you're saying though, being like snobby about the weather. I get really bitchy. Like I'll be like, if it's like maybe drizzling, I'll be like, what the fuck, like. I pay to live here. Why is it sunny right now? And I'm not even going outside doing stuff. I just like when I wake up and it's not sunny, I'm like, oh, dude. Like the fact that I don't have sun in my office is like, this is fucked up, dude. I'm gonna tweet the mayor of LA right now. This is
tweet the mayor.
Tell him to get on the weather team.
How often do you all attempt to collaborate with Funhouse Team, and is anything in the works? I will kick it off by saying you can choose to agree with me or not agree with me. The Funhouse Team continues to be one of the hardest working groups out there, and they are consistent. They get those views. They're still doing funny stuff. You pick any video any day of the week and they're doing their live show, but they're very busy too. I got a collab coming up next week, I hope, with a member of their team. I don't want to spoil it.
We had a collab coming out with Bruce, hopefully on Monday, where we go to Santa Monica to go to a bar.
An IRL, collab.
It's not really a video, but that's a collab.
You kind of got to create shows that like fit the function of that though, right? Too, where it's like you have an idea, but just doing it to do it doesn't always work. So I like, as much as I would like them or other people over more, you kind of got to find the right video for it. I'm glad we had Crike, and by the time you watch this, you've seen him in at least one video.
But that was already planned. So if we do have someone come up all the way from Culver City, because that's still relatively a drive, we want to have at least a few things planned out. So
we shot a lot with him. And that's like ideal for me. Yes, like if we reach out to them, it's like, okay, you want to be in like 3 or 4 things, and they all fit.
It's also, sorry to cut you off, but it's also like people know what they're in for when they like are like, oh, you want us to come down. Like we've had straight up no's to like Spice Gauntlet too. People straight up just saying, no, we're not going to come down.
Yeah, if it's not clear, only Lawrence said yes to Spice Gauntlet 2, and then he had to go to GDC. So he was the only. Everyone else was like, absolutely not. No, and people have been on our show before. That's like veterans. Like Bruce was like, I'm not doing.
I'm sure, like,
why would I do that? That's horrible.
Sure seeing Kale like after that too is probably not gonna make them jump for it next time around either.
No.
Yeah.
The aftermath of that was really bad, and I did feel a little bad, but whatever. Kale knew what he signed up for too.
It's true.
We all went to war.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Something coming soon, and then just whenever. But yeah, we are gonna go hopefully drink with Bruce. I don't know. We gotta figure that out. How do you avoid mental emotional drain after or before making videos? Energy drinks, kale chips, big bag of weed?
Mental what? Mental emotional.
Just like energy drains, like yesterday, right? Where I feel like all of us collectively were like, my head hurts. I feel like shit. I don't want to like.
I was fine yesterday, dude.
You were fine?
I was probably
you were one of the only one. Yeah.
I think I was the only one that was fine yesterday.
I was watching a spider.
He was watching a spider.
How do you avoid depression?
Go to therapy.
I don't think a big bag of weed is really gonna. I'm not like, I can't wait to go home and smoke a big bag of weed. Mental and emotional drain.
Energy drinks help us with videos sometimes. I feel like that's probably
even the worst. I mean, right now, woke up a little like, I don't want to be and stuff, but a little bit of Red Bull helps sometimes, you know.
Yeah, which is funny because you and I are both pretty caffeine sensitive. Like I pretty much had to give it up recently just because it's stressing me out. I was going too hard on it, but
I called this work. I sometimes call this work, and people get really triggered because it's like, oh, it's like you're just doing a video or whatever.
because it's a job that you go to and you have to be there. At
But
a
like,
certain
yeah,
time.
you wake up at a certain time, you go to a certain time,
You run
get
you
paid.
own a business and you go to a place for it. That's
Right,
really
but the only reason I call
triggering.
it that is just to relate. So it is like work. So it's like, how do you avoid being drained at work? You know, you wake up, you go do your job, and then you go home. You know, whatever ways people go about it normally is just probably the same way we go about it. Go home, eat dinner, or like sit down for a sec, watch a TV show or something. During work though, I mean, and I don't know. Yeah,
I feel like
maybe
creative
anything.
ideas help sometimes, or at least if there's a video that you're excited to, or that you know you're in charge of, that can be helpful sometimes.
I was distracted by that guy that was making those. There's a lot of really large, athletic people over there.
Yeah, like they're gonna do a photo shoot or something.
It's prom's coming up, right?
They
Because I think I saw girls over there like dressing up for something, and I think these guys over here might be doing like a prom thing as well.
they don't look like they are doing prom. This looks like a fucking like magazine cover shoot or some
Yeah, a
shit.
little GQ shoot
Yeah.
over there. Speaking of magazines for men, how about an ad read for the men out there, everybody? Hims, a new wellness brand for men. Guys, 66% of men lose their hair by age 35. Thing is, when you start to notice hair loss, it's too late. It's easier to keep the hair you have than replace the hair you've lost. Is that hairline slowly starting to move backwards? Any bald spots yet? It's not just me. Sometimes I look around at the Rooster Teeth family and I check those hairlines. I'm like, who's coming to hang out with me on the throne? Oh yeah, the stress getting to you? Coming up the front, coming up the back? What's going on? Listen, guys turn to all sorts of weird solutions or do nothing when they can turn to medicine. Forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness for men. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. Well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. Let's say you've already got an expensive subscription to Viagra, minoxidil. I don't know. I forget all the different brand names. You know, the stuff
too
you
many
take for your hair.
medicines
There's
out
just
there.
a lot out there. Maybe you're overpaying. You want a cheaper alternative. You've already got that prescription. Great. Maybe you're a little bit worried about your acne. Maybe you're a little bit worried about some hair loss. Go to your doctor, go to your general practitioner, have a nice conversation. But it's good to have options. You live in America. It's a country of free choices. You know what? There's options out there for you. Be responsible, do your research. But if forhims.com is for you, great. Here's a great spot that can benefit you and our podcast. Our listeners can get a free trial of Hims for just $5 today, right now while supplies last. See the website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to a doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/CCTV. That's forhims, forhims.com/CCTV. If you want to do a little reading up on the old website, see what's right for you, see what's, what might make sense in your life to increase your quality of life. Hopefully something out there will be good for you.
We're getting a lot of sponsors recently, and that's helps a lot, as well as our Patreons, our patrons, our patrons.
Yeah. Patreon, those of you out there who are on that Patreon grind, we are explicitly using your money for something fairly huge in the works right now. So if you are not familiar with our Patreon, you want to help us out, basically it's as simple as sign up for a Twitch sub. You can do $5 a month, $10 a month, $25 a month if you really want to go baller on it. But it really helps us out, and you actively right now will be contributing to something fairly large that hopefully makes everybody pretty happy, and we're all pretty excited about.
Yeah, I'm actually really stoked about this. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to blow the load too quick on this stuff.
Until it's there and it's a thing, I'm also like, but
but hopefully very soon, so it's not.
yeah, this month I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe beginning of next month.
But yeah, very big stuff for us coming up.
Yeah, and if you sign up for Patreon, you get some behind the scenes, got the vlogs. You'll know stuff first. You'll see the pictures for anybody else. But if you can't afford it, don't stress yourself out by signing up and then trying to dodge those monthly fees. I see that. It's like people ride the wave. They're like, oh, the charge is coming, but sometimes they'll mistime it, and I'll see them get charged anyway. And I'm like, just don't stress yourself out. If you can't afford it, don't worry about it. Just watch the content for free. Just maybe watch an ad every now and again. We appreciate you. Buy a piece of merch, whatever you want to do. But Patreon, that's for the true believers out there. And we love your ass. Now, great. Let's get a couple more questions in before we wrap this up. How can James and Alex, I'll read you exactly the quote. How can James actively be a part of CouchHop, have an active separate YouTube channel, and also regularly stream on Twitch? Sounds like he has even less free time than you. But you are also sort of having a refocus on getting stuff done. How do you guys do it? How do we run this channel, and yet you guys have time for your free stuff, and things just don't instantly fall apart?
I just hate my life.
Is it so bad, James?
It's not so bad, but like it is draining. I mean, it's you do 3 CouchHop days, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are usually like my own days. I do have an editor to work out like VODs, so I upload all that stuff to him. Costs for that is just kind of like, that's not really regarded, but I do pay for like a really big fucking Google Drive to send him all this shit, and I pay him obviously.
It's Canadian or something, right?
Yeah. But yeah, the streaming stuff for me, it's interesting for me because I talked about this I think last time I streamed, was that it is draining, but I'm only doing it because it's different. And
the streaming specifically?
Yeah, specifically, because I've been doing VOD content for like over fucking 10 years now. It's become so routine, and I became so content, I guess. Like, I was content fucking making a lot of money off the YouTube and just putting up whatever I would put up. And it just fit into the routine, right? I was super content about it, which is a good and a bad thing. It's like good enough that I can sit there and I can upload freely, and people still enjoyed all the stuff that I was putting out. It was stuff that it was just like, gameplay and stuff, funny edited stuff. And then I could just kind of take a back seat after I got done scheduling out VODs, and I can just kind of sit around. Streaming, it's a lot more like in the moment. You have to be active during those hours, or you don't really make jack shit. And that's different for me because obviously doing all the VOD stuff, but I found myself having more, I guess, goals now again on the Twitch side, at least with streaming, at least having goals in general, because with YouTube, it used to be like, oh, hit 1 million subs and do all that and like this many views, and I'd tick those off or whatever, and then it just became like, well, I don't want to do anything else goal wise. So
it's just like you leveled a new character in WoW and you're getting all the new abilities.
Exactly. It's like a whole separate new campaign. Like I started all over again, and I started doing the Twitch stuff, and it was so different, and it's harder because you have to be on during those active hours, which could go anywhere from fucking 8 to 10 to fucking however many hours it is. I make a lot less money on there, for the record. Probably fucking less than half, maybe, of what I would make on YouTube, believe it or not. YouTube still would pay a lot just for doing the VODs that I would do. But it's different, so that's why I'm doing it. So regardless of if it's draining or not, it's just something different. It's just a different approach, a different challenge, I guess, to just do something other than the norm for 10 years. And I don't really personally care that YouTube takes a back seat because of all the problems we've had here with YouTube, all the problems that I've had on my own. My channel is super old. There's not much support for it. All these collective things just I just don't fucking care that much. I'd rather try to do this new challenge, I guess. So,
if you really wanted a challenge, you could go start on Mixer.
I talked to you about that, remember? I said I was gonna do that, and I was gonna actually try to jump on there, but then I realized just for the meme that it wasn't gonna be such a good idea. It wasn't such a good idea just to be like, yeah, I'm gonna hop on there just to be a fucking asshole, and oh yeah, I'm gonna do Mixer. No.
The Mixer guys
throwing a lot of money. There's some cool
They do, yeah, no, there definitely is, but just for me, it wouldn't have it would have been funny at first. Hey,
you're already sort of
Mixer.
established too. I think if you were a young gun, or you're I'm gonna go out and claim a piece of this platform and just like absolutely own it, and I don't have a whole bunch of pre-existing shit, like I could, you know, have
I feel like
support.
because of the existing stuff, I have a better shot on Twitch, whereas like new members might not so much. You know, I have a better shot on. They also set up where like my two URLs redirect to each other, and you know, all that stuff that they had set up prior for me. It's like I don't want to like meme it away and just go somewhere else just because of that. You know, that wouldn't make any sense. So yeah.
How about you?
How do I manage such a lavish life?
That's the exact question. How do you manage such a lavish life?
I don't know, man. I get what you're saying, though. I think goals are really important. I think that's kind of like what I feel like.
That's what keeps you driven, because I mean, if I wouldn't have had a drive, I didn't have a drive for YouTube stuff, obviously it would take the back seat and there would be nothing in its place. So at least with Twitch in its place, I still have the drive to do all the stuff on a daily basis, even though it is like quite hectic. But you know, I feel like if it was just YouTube, I wouldn't have that anymore. I'd probably just take a back seat altogether, just chill out and just do whatever. I don't know. I mean, I've done other stuff on top of that too, like adding into the gym and adding the gym into the routine as well and stuff like that. But
should probably go to the next question before.
Okay, let's do rapid fire really quick. There's no long answers, these are quick answers. How much is improvised? Do you usually break random things, or do you agree that you're going to break certain things and you can't touch other things? We don't talk about that enough, which is how a giant flat screen television got several rounds from an airsoft gun put into it, or just negligent. Stuff happens. We don't pre-discuss it really. It's, you know, just have a sense for what's appropriate, I guess.
yeah.
During the Grand Canyon trip, I was freaking out when Alex kept opening the door. Did Brett get scared at all? He seemed so calm. I think I was like in a trance. I think we were all under the spell of like a wizard, and I was just like trying not to kill us and hoping that you also knew enough what you were doing to not like let your legs get broken off.
Yeah, I wasn't like really trying to kill myself, but it was a pretty good bit. So plus I was drunk. You know, a lot of things can happen.
Is there anything you want to change for any content of shows, such as Amazon Primetime alongside of YouTube, or do you guys want to create another show? Is there a fast answer for that? Anything right off the top of your head?
Yes, we want to create another show.
I think we're always trying to get new long-term shows in there. It's just finding the right fit. Even experimenting with stuff like Guinness and stuff. It's kind of like a matter of like, okay, but what's the next episode? And not just, you know, doing whatever. So Guinness is not canceled. We just had like a beach episode. Well,
it was, there was a beach theme one that we wanted to do, but we were unable to do. But like I could come up with something else, I guess. It'd be nice to just like, maybe if I sit down and like just fucking try to brainstorm all of them, like, or a couple.
Do like a season kind of.
Yeah.
Like Sugar Pine, we could like plan out a proper season. Wouldn't it be so cool, guys? We're gonna get him on the podcast again soon. He was texting me today. Septic and I are gonna get dinner soon.
Ooh.
If you could go back and change, okay, quick answer.
Someone's dying.
Oh no. Quick answer. If you could go back and change one thing about the channel aside from the eviction, what would it be? Thanks.
Oh God.
One thing about the channel, top of your head.
One thing about the channel. I wish that Pokemon Go didn't fucking fall flat on its face.
You wish you could go to Niantic and change Niantic.
Yeah, because that series was doing really well for us, and it also pushed those, you know, cringy me going outside and fucking around like with people like way more than, you know, what we would normally do. So if that game didn't go to the wayside, you know, there would have been more of that, at least at the time.
That is a straight up convoy.
That is.
Okay, before they come to take us away, what one thing did you change?
I guess more recently, I wish we did the RV stuff. Like it wasn't such a spontaneous decision to go out and then put it in like the middle of like a Let's Play. I guess I wish that I had the wherewithal to just like make it a more like, hey, we're doing this, and like give it like a series like official title versus just Shadow of the Colossus Part 10 and we're in the middle of the fucking Grand Canyon. But that's more recent. But just like
also
back
still possible too, though. I mean,
yeah, it's in the future. It's still possible. Did it say back when the channel started or something?
This is one thing about the channel aside from the eviction.
No, I wouldn't change a whole lot. You know.
Dude, they're telling me about a movie or some shit.
Yeah, dude, we were gonna get thrown off of someone's real movie set.
What is happening? This is a legit thing happening. Great. Okay.
Okay.
How much has LA changed the working environment and you as a person?
A lot.
Not too much for me. A little bit. I've grown to hate the weather, like you guys say, but mostly because people out here don't know how to drive in the rain and shit like that, and they get spooked by it.
I'm scared by anything.
Yeah.
Is it possible to bring Kale to RTX? He's been in quite a few videos and the community loves him. It's really a Kale question, I guess, but...
He can just go on his own.
Yeah.
Kale wants to go to
He
RTX.
can just go on his own.
Isn't that Dobby the house elf? You know, I don't keep him in that cupboard, so he could go if he wants to. Will we see more wrestling-based content on the channel?
Only when the new game comes out, probably, and that's probably it, I'd imagine. So maybe around October? I don't know.
Are you guys going to be doing a playthrough of Detroit Become Human?
That's too long of an answer now that we've already gone over the strike, but I guess short answer is no now, possibly one-off, maybe, if anything. Wasn't the plans, but the community strike kind of threw a wrench in that, so.
Yeah, long form, long gameplay series is tricky with the way the views and stuff work now, so. Okay, still going as fast as we can, about to wrap it up. Are you guys just always recording, or does someone just suddenly go, okay, let's do some random shit for BTS? Yes, we go. We record a lot of stuff, but 9 times out of 10 there's a moment where I'm like, hey Matt, can we get the cameras for something real quick? And Matt's the most diligent about always being ready to go to shoot something, so. What's the furthest you guys have gone in an episode sketch before someone really backed out? I mean, like...
That's usually when the video ends, is when someone backs out.
Yeah. It's pretty rare that people truly back out. Like, people are pretty game. I think the Spice Gauntlet is the only one I can think of off the top of my head where someone was like, absolutely not. Do you think of anything else? Let me know. So who is the real boss from all of you? Is it Jacob or James?
What?
Also, whatever happened to Jacob? Also, does Jacob work for Cow Chop now? I don't know. Those of you who are watching the podcast regularly ask questions, but you don't know. Jacob, yes, works for Cow Chop, and nothing happened to him. He's at work right now. You guys hiring? Not from Twitter. Why is it so easy for Jacob to throw up?
Oh my God.
He's got like,
Jacob should have been on
he
this.
just has the ability. He has a superpower.
Superpower.
He's suppressing it now, though. He doesn't
a
want to
little
do it
bit.
anymore.
He's self-conscious.
Yeah.
Are you coming to RTX London? It's a lot of moving parts. We'd love to. Are James and Alex more business partners than friends?
Or both.
Yeah, we're both.
Nice, dude. All right, that's plenty. That was a nice, full, good conversation. Lots of answers. 3 sponsored. Who's the 4th member podcast. Thanks for watching CCTV. It's nice to get some air. I'm glad we didn't get thrown out. They're about to shoot a movie, so I guess we should leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on?
Sweet. Let's go get some lunch, boys.
Do you think they're going to include the GQ models in whatever they're doing? Maybe they go hand in hand?
Maybe so. I like the number of people that I know just looking at us.
Come on, let's do a squinch. That must be like catnip or something. I don't know. It's strange. I'm glad we were able to get that on camera because it's the first couple of times you see it live, it's just really strange. You'd swear the dog was going into some kind of figmo mental state or something there, but I can assure you she's okay. She seems to derive some sort of pleasure from it.